instead of making all these videos. Alright, welcome back everybody to our final Heroes of Might and Magic 5 hero video, going over all of the heroes for Stronghold today. So please don't forget to like and subscribe. Be sure to check out all of the other faction heroes, and we will be doing all of the creatures for every faction as well. I'll give you a little sneak peek on that, going over all of these creatures for every single faction in their own respective videos as well. We've also done an entire dual mode series of about 90 something videos and tier lists for towns and creatures and everything, so be sure to check all those out and like and subscribe, and we will be doing some more, plus Olden Era as well whenever it comes out, so be sure to be there for that. But we are starting with Craig here, Krog, whatever you want to call him. Pretty, obviously most heroes are going to be starting with a basic army. This is pretty stock basic army for Stronghold, so we'll see what he's looking like. So like I've said, every single faction starts with a basic skill of their own faction, which is Blood Rage for Stronghold. So essentially what Blood Rage is you start with 0, you build it up to level 1, 2, or 3, and the more Blood Rage you have on those respective levels, the more things your creatures do. You know, essentially the better they become. So if you can build some insane Blood Rage for all of your creatures, they're going to be crazy fucking good. But he starts with just basic Blood Rage, basic attack as well with Battle Frenzy. I'm not a huge Battle Frenzy guy, but I mean it can be useful, I guess. You know, increase their damage. So not terrible, but nothing super fancy. So then Craig's special ability is this hero can perform one special melee attack right at the beginning of combat. Moreover, all heroes attacks deal plus 5% damage, deal 5% plus 5% damage for every hero level. So as soon as you start a fight, Craig is going to get to go and do a melee attack, which is nice. You know, those are always pretty solid. Pretty much at any given point, that's like a tier 7 unit dead more often than not. But the fact that he can do that to start the game and increase that damage by 5% for every single level of this hero, that's actually pretty fucking solid, especially considering there's something that you have to keep in mind with Stronghold, is that they are very much not a magic team, like at all. Like they are super might heavy for pretty much all of their creatures, all of their heroes and everything like that. They are the least magic heavy team in the game. So having this where it's like, that is an insane might choice. Having him start the game, and then let's just say he's level 10, that's what, 50%, or I'm sorry, 5, so that's half of that, so 25%, or wait, yeah, 50% more damage on the initial strike to start the game. That's, Craig is going to be a good choice at any point. Yeah, I actually like that. I might have to actually give him a whirl for sure, to really test that out. But that is a strong start and strong throughout the entire game. So Krug so far is a good choice no matter what. I like that. That's very different. I really like that actually. Urgot, pretty basic starting army as we see here. What can you do? Basic logistics, okay, with pathfinding, so extra movement and everything with some pathfinding, so you know, over rough terrain and stuff, she's going to be able to move better than everybody, which is not a bad thing at all. Increases the number of heroes' movement points by 1% for every 3 levels of the hero. Reduces movement penalty from foreign terrain by 2% for every level of the hero as well. So yeah, she's going to be able to move insanely well. Especially the later the game goes, she's going to be able to zoom through these maps no problem, which is huge. So yeah, especially if it's a larger map, Urgot is a great choice. If it's smaller, it's still not bad. She's gonna be able to explore that small map in like no time. Um, but yeah, lots of movement. If you're needing a movement one, even if she's not your main hero, she's probably a lot better of a scout to have like as a secondary or something. But not bad if you're wanting to move, she's a good choice. I wouldn't necessarily choose her just because like I'm not super worried about that. I'll get wherever I'm going. The best thing for her is just gonna be um doing that with chasing down people or running away is what she's gonna be useful for. Garuna here, a little bit better of a starting. Get a couple warriors. That's not bad at all. And then what do we got? Basic Blood Rage, basic attack with archery this time. Okay, not bad at all. Then each enemy troop. Okay. Each killed enemy troop. Summon troops are considered as well. Increase the attack of all creatures in his army by 1 for every 6 levels of the hero. So that's that's a lot. You're definitely going to have to build Garuna up by a lot. Yeah, that's just going to be a whole lot of working on Garuna to make it good. So I definitely don't necessarily like Garuna to start, but if you're looking for a late game choice, your creatures are going to be doing way more damage later in the game for sure. Um, but still, it's not really even that much. Like +1 for every 6 levels. That's, I mean, don't get me wrong. That's a lot of increased attack. You know, so 7 creatures when you're level 6 +1 attack is good. But which don't get me wrong, if it was every like 3 levels, everybody's gonna be, insane amount of damage. So I get it, but yeah, Gruna is definitely a later game choice, somebody you have to build on. So if you're chilling at the beginning and you want um, a hero that you want to build upon, Garuna is definitely not bad. It's going to be doing a shit ton of damage for sure. Gorshak with a chieftain here. Gonna be a chieftain. Slayer now, but chieftain. Gorshak. Advanced Blood Rage to start and no other skills. Okay. With Powerful Blow. Okay. So we got links with selected creature. Every time this creature performs an attack, the hero will assault the same target. The hero's attack is by 3 hero levels more powerful than usual and has an additional chance to inflict a critical hit. That is pretty gnarly. So let's just say you link them with your chieftains, which this is the chieftain slayer hero, so +1 to their attack and defense for every 2 levels of the hero. So let's just say you link the powerful blow with your chieftains. The chieftains go attack somebody. Your hero is then going to follow up behind the chieftains and attack them with, what is that? 3 higher levels than what he actually is at, and can inflict a critical hit. So that's pretty fucking devastating. Um, yeah, and Advanced Blood Rage is not bad to let your hero do that, but he's yeah, so he's definitely strong at every point. I think he's I don't want to say it's somebody you have to build, but he needs a lot of things, so it is building on him, but he's a solid start for sure because of this powerful blow. And having already advanced Blood Rage, but he still needs a lot of things, a lot of additives to, not necessarily to even be good, but just to, he's got to pick up a lot of shit. Some heroes start with, usually 2 skills, sometimes 3. He starts with 1, but it is advanced, but 2 specializations, so, and I like chieftains too, so having them be even better is awesome, plus more blood rage on them and a powerful blow to follow it up if you choose to do it for them or anybody else. That's pretty nasty. It's a whole lot of damage output for sure. We're just gonna call this man Mr. Shack here. Mr. Shack, pretty basic starting army there. And then we got basic defense with vitality. We've seen this plenty in other videos. So, you know, increased or decreases damage dealt to your creatures in melee combat, and then more hit points for your creature with vitality. And then he is the Wyvern hero. So this actually is one that's different. So instead of attack and defense gained for every 2 levels of the hero, it's actually their hit points for every 2 levels. So you're basically just making them have way more health. Rather than increasing their attack and defense, you're getting them way more health, which this is one of the only heroes in the game that has a tier 6 creature connection. So he's just going to make wyverns that much beefier, which I also get because wyverns are also the only creature in Stronghold that are not affected by blood rage. So a pretty mid start. Like he's got the basic stock army. Basic defense and vitality is good to start with too, you know, it's not a bad start at all. But once you get wyverns, those wyverns are going to be pretty fucking beefy. On top of that, if you choose the Palkai upgrade instead of the venomous one, they can eat, which then gains them lives, so that's going to be hard to kill those guys because of that. So Shaq might not be the greatest starting hero as far, you know, the pretty mid start to the game, early game, but mid to late he's gonna be that much better. Haggish is the centaur hero, starting with 30 centaurs. Me personally, so just basic attack there, so not bad. I really do like centaurs. They're one of my favorite mythological fantasy creatures. I really like them. Even in this game, I really like them, but they're not good. They just aren't. They don't do enough. Unfortunately, even as a tier 2 shooter, they're not very strong. And even with Haggish, who is obviously the centaur hero, giving them +1 to their attack and defense for every 2 levels, he also even get 1% added to their initiative for every level of the hero. So they're going to go more often, which is very nice. So centaurs will be able to attack often, which they need to, because unfortunately, again, their attack and defense is not good. It just isn't, which sucks. Even with Haggish and you get him leveled up, centaurs struggle, which again sucks because I really like them, but they you know, they don't do enough. All stronghold creatures from Librarian get from 50 up to 100 rage points at the beginning of combat. So yeah, this will be a nice little boost to your creatures, having that to be able to essentially increase how quickly they get to level 1 and 2 and 3 blood rage, getting a little boost to start the fight. So not bad. So while I like centaurs, and Haggish has a good start with having 30 of them plus basic attack and you know, some rage, which basic attack is only melee, so kind of not the most helpful, but that will get you archery, as you can see. But I would say Haggish is a mid choice, unfortunately. Very good starting hero, or even somebody to pick up that's going to be able to be okay, but aside from that, not the greatest choice. Then we have Tilsik here with the Warriors. Warriors and Marauders are definitely pretty decent, not bad tier 3s at all, and you get a starting Ballista, which is always welcome. It's just some free stuff, so basic war machines to start, not bad. So then we have here, decreases enemy spell power in combat in proportion with the barbarian spell power. So that's a little difficult because again, obviously, Stronghold is not the most magic using army. It's in fact the least. So to lessen the enemy spell power in combat it's not going to be a lot because more than likely you're not going to build upon your spell power to begin with. Although I'm not sure if um, yeah, I don't know if basic blood rage counts as that. I mean, it is in there as you see for might over magic, so maybe it does a little bit, but I don't feel like it's going to be enough. But on top of that, him getting +1 to attack and defense for warriors for every 2 levels is not bad. So Telsic is okay. Again, I think there's much better stronghold choices. I think if you're wanting a very strong start, Telsic is there. If you're wanting to pick up a decent choice for a hero as, you know, second, third, fourth, etc., Telsic is not bad either. But main hero is mid to me. And then our final hero for Stronghold, Mr. Goblin King. So he starts with, so this shouldn't actually be here. Let me take that out for you. This is just because I walked through things with him. He gets shit for free. So he gets those goblins for free, which we will talk about here in a second. So he gets basic leadership with recruitment, so it increases morale of all creatures. And then the recruitment goes just more, you know, creatures for the first 3 creatures respectively, as you see. 3 goblins, 2 centaurs, 1 warrior, which is not bad. But aside from that, being the Goblin King here, so number of goblins in the hero's army increases weekly by the amount equal to the hero's level. So joining goblins will not be upgraded unless they're already upgraded goblins. You know, that's just kind of how it is. And all upgraded goblins will be joined by goblin trappers. Also, the goblin's chance to betray the hero will be reduced by 1% per level. So basically what this means is you're going to be getting extra free goblins every single week depending on what level you are, and on top of that you already know they're going to be goblin trappers, which is what you saw when I dismissed them. But if you know anything about goblins, which we will talk about in the whatchamacallit, the solo creatures videos, so going over all the creatures, they have this treachery thing. So when this number of goblins falls below 30% of their original numbers, so if you have 100 goblins and it goes down to 20, they change sides. So they will no longer fight for you. So Mr. Goblin King here will lessen that by 1% for every hero level, which is not a lot, but you know, most often than not it doesn't really happen, and if it does, it's not like the biggest thing in the world. But at the same time, you know, I don't think Kilgan here is necessarily a great choice. If you're really into goblins and you want an absolute shit ton of them for free, by all means, this is your man. Or if you just want more people, you know, or even if you choose somebody else, if you're not running Stronghold, you're running, you know, you're running Dungeon, and you want increased lives, he's going to give you free goblins for every level. So go level him up in the background, bring him in, increase your, you know, weekly growth and stuff, or even, you know, change them into Necropolis skeletons or whatever. So Kilgan is definitely not a great main hero, but as he can be helpful to obviously boost up your goblin growth or any other growth. So that is all of the Stronghold heroes. Again, please do not forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one. Now we will be going over again all of the creatures, going over their individual videos, going over every creature for each faction, and again, be sure to check out the dual mode series, tier list for towns, tier list for creatures, custom games that we've been doing, these hero per factions, and the creatures coming. So lots of Heroes of Might and Magic 5 content on the channel, coming to the channel, and there will be Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era as well. It's already on there, so check it out. Lord, that is almost an hour and a half straight of talking about Heroes